All right. It's Ashley with Budgets Made Easy, and this is the Budget Bestie Meetup for what month is it? April 2023. We are going to. All right. It's Ashley with Budgets Made Easy. All right. Let me start over. I don't know where that sound just came from because that is not the speaker that I have right now. Okay, let me fix that. There we go. Okay, now I can hear myself. Why is this? There we go. Oh my goodness. All right. So first time going live on YouTube and figured I have to change even more settings than I had on Zoom. Okay, let's start over. It's Ashley with Budgets Made Easy in the Money Mindset Podcast. This is a Budget Bestie Meetup, which is a free event that you can sign up for at budgetsmadeeasy.com/meetup. I usually do a little bit of teaching at the beginning, then we share some wins and any questions. And tonight I'm going to be asking those that joined me live some questions as well to get their input so that you can get a different perspective as well. So hopefully people will share. I'm sure Cindy will. Cindy's with us tonight as well. So the people here tonight, I think almost everybody is in Money Success Club. I think everybody is. And so they're going to share some input as well. And this will be on the Money Mindset podcast on Monday. So, of course, you can join us next time. I do it once a month. So come join us for the meetup at budgetsmadeeasy.com/meetup. All right. So tonight I wanted to discuss what to do when you get a big tax refund or maybe a bonus, a large sum of money coming in at once, because this has come up a lot lately because it's April, it's tax time. I'm even getting a refund for the first time in years, which I guess isn't necessarily a good thing for me, but I overpaid my taxes in my business in quarter 1 last year and then didn't end up needing to pay that much. So I actually overpaid, and I usually, basically, since I've started my business, I haven't had a refund. So that's a little different for me, which is nice, a nice little bonus. Because we are getting ready to go to Belize this summer, and that will help pay for it. And I'm also very excited because we changed the days that we're going to go. Instead of Saturday to Saturday, we're going Tuesday to Tuesday, which is saving us like $2,500. So the tickets are back down to what I expected, instead of being thousands of dollars more than I had thought. So I'm very excited about that. That'll help contribute to that as well. So looking forward to the trip. And I wanted to kind of discuss this because this happens a lot. People either have money in savings that they're not sure what to do with, or they're getting a tax refund, a bonus, a Christmas bonus, maybe quarterly or yearly bonus, and they're not sure what to do with it. And if you don't plan for it, it will disappear. Right. And sometimes it's just a little bit at a time. Well, I've been putting this off and I've wanted this, and, I need some new shoes, and, maybe you need some things around the house that you've been putting off, which is fine as long as you plan for it. So what I recommend you do is create a priority list. You can do it a couple different ways. So it could be priority of, okay, what is coming up that I don't really have the money to cash flow? So cash flow just means like money that you have coming in on a normal basis that you could, if you have it in your monthly budget, that you could just cover it. But if you don't, then that is something that you can put this money towards, right? So you could pay property taxes if you haven't planned for that. You could pay for yearly car insurance if you pay that on a yearly basis instead of monthly. You could fill up some of your savings funds for things for non-monthly expenses. So Christmas, vacations, birthdays. So I talk a lot about that as well. And I talked about that earlier on the podcast last week. Also, I think it was episode 135, and talking about what to do with expenses that don't come up every single month. So you could fill some of those buckets up so you don't have to worry about them in the month to month. The other thing that you can do is decide which debts you want to go ahead and knock out. And you can, think about this and focus on different things. So if you have, let's say, $3,000, so I was working with a client the other day who had some money coming in and wanted to knock out some debt before hitting a big IRS debt that she has. It's not in the order of the debt snowball, which is fine. And she could have, there was like 4 or 5 smaller loans that were $3,000 or less. And she had, if I remember, I was around 3,000, 3,500 coming in. And so what we decided was, or what she decided, we worked through it together, obviously. What she decided was to pay off some of the smaller loans that had a bigger payment to free up more money in the monthly budget, as opposed to paying off some different ones that were roughly the same amount but had a smaller monthly payment. So she's focusing on certain debts that have a higher monthly payment to make a bigger impact on the IRS debt. So I call that the impact method. And you don't have to just focus on the interest rate. You don't have to focus on the smallest balance. You can focus on the biggest impact for emotional reward. So just like with the IRS debt, it has a huge emotional impact for her, and it's her largest debt. So she could focus on paying off all the smaller debts and wait till that, do that one last, but it's got this huge emotional impact. So she's going to pay it off third. She's going to pay off a couple small ones and use that monthly money to roll into the IRS debt. And we've done the math, and she can pay off the IRS debt in roughly a year. If she gets this raise that she's expecting next month and sticks to the plan, and all the things fall into place, she'll be able to do that within a year. And just knowing that has had a huge impact on her mindset already. Just seeing the numbers and knowing that she could pay that off within a year, because it's a pretty large debt and it is emotionally draining. Plus, the IRS, they charge you so much money, like in penalties and fees, penalties and interest, and they just keep stacking it on, right? And so for her emotionally, it's more important to pay off that debt versus following, the debt snowball or the debt avalanche. So when you have some money coming in, I really want you to focus on the priority list for you. And that's going to look different for, other people. So it could be focusing on the savings funds like I talked about. It could be focusing on some debt that you can knock out, and just make sure that you have it a list, like a visual, you've thought it through, hopefully before you get the money. So like if it's something that you're expecting that usually comes once a year, or a tax refund that you're expecting, and you have an idea, a rough idea of what it should be, or tax return, what it's going to be, go ahead and prioritize where you want the money to go. And it's okay to spend some money on yourself or things that you've been putting off, as long as that is the priority for you. And it's not just accidentally being spent, going through the drive-through here and there a couple of times a week, and your kids are asking for things, all that stuff comes up all the time. I mean, I have 3 kids. I totally get it. Like that is what happens to me as well. Like they just start asking for things and I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. They decided they wanted to go to the father-daughter dance, and it's Friday. So I had to order some new dresses because the dresses they had didn't fit. They don't usually wear dresses, and they really want to wear dresses. So it's like I'm ordering all these things last minute because I didn't even think about it. But thankfully, I can cash flow it. It's not that big of a deal. But if you had a lot of these little expenses, you're getting the tax refund, it'll eat away at it before you even realize it. And next thing you know, all the money's gone and you're like, where did it go? Like, and that happens a lot. I'm sure those of you listening and have joined me today have probably experienced that in the past. It's happened to me. It just happens when you're not being intentional. So what I want you to do is just be intentional and mindful with your plan for how you want to spend the money before it comes in. just so that it goes to where you want it to go. So it's just like your paychecks, right? We want to be mindful and intentional with where that money is going. This is the same thing. And it'll just help you kind of plan for those things as you look into the year. So you can even look into, what do I have coming up in the next 3 months or 6 months, or maybe this year that I probably won't be able to squeeze into my monthly budget, but I could go ahead and fill that bucket and pay for that now with this money. So, that is where we fall short a lot with our planning, is not thinking ahead for those types of things. And then when they come up, it just ruins our budget and we feel like a failure. And, this doesn't work for me. And those kinds of thoughts that happen when we feel like we've failed. All right. So that is what I wanted to talk about today during the meetup. So I would love it if those of you that have joined me live, if you can let me know, one, if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. But I'd love to know, what is something that you wish you knew sooner? And it could be about planning, being intentional with your money plan, things like that I've talked about tonight, but it doesn't have to be. I talked about this the other day on gosh, I don't even remember where. It might have been the podcast, but it might have been in the free Facebook group. I don't remember now. But it was about, what you wish you knew younger or sooner. And because now that you've learned it, of course, we can't change the past, but somebody else probably needs to hear that too, and hasn't heard that. And it's like, if you say something, it'll click for them. So feel free to unmute yourself if anybody has something that they would like to share, and then we can move into wins. And I'm going to come over here to YouTube real quick. I don't think there's any comments over here. I've never done a live on YouTube, so not sure if I'm missing something or not.
Sorry, Ashley, I had to step away. What was the question or comment or whatever you're looking for?
Something you wish you knew sooner, like something that you wish that you knew, about finances earlier in life or before you started this journey, so that, maybe we can save some other people some time.
I wish I met you about 10, 15 years ago and been on the track then, instead of, when I'm ready for Social Security. How's that?
Me too. Ashley,
Uh-huh.
it's Melanie. And what I wish that I would have known sooner is not to use credit cards just like a bank and then having to pay all that interest on top of the credit card payment. And two, when you get a lump sum bonus or a good tax refund, and you put in like a savings account and you just let it sit there, just make sure you look at the interest rate to see if you can get a better interest rate so you can get more return on your money.
Absolutely. I love that, because I actually had to go to the credit union the other day, and I was looking at the CD rates. I'm like, man, I really should just move my money into CDs. So I was debating that, because the interest rates are still pretty high on that. Like, I've never seen them that high. So
Yes, we moved money from a CD. This was like recently, and it was getting like a 0.5 interest rate. And then we moved it over to a money market account, and that rate's like a 4.5%. So it makes a big difference. It will be like, I think my husband figured it out to be like $80 more
nice.
than $80 every 2 weeks or every week. It was a large difference. I
That's
can't
awesome.
remember the numbers right now.
Yeah, that's a big difference. That's awesome. Christina, I don't know if I saw you unmute. Feel free to unmute if you Let's see. She says, I wish I knew how important meal planning was to stay in budget. I also wish I knew how important it was to have an emergency fund so small issues don't cause more debt. Yes. Yes. Such a good point. Because as you have money set aside for specific things, especially, just emergency fund at first, and then you start filling those savings funds for those non-monthly expenses, those sinking funds, like I talked about, it helps you stay out of debt. And it also just helps lessen the mental load when something happens, because life's going to happen. I know we like to, pretend like if something's going to happen, or, hopefully wish that something doesn't happen, but, life is going to happen. And the more prepared you can be financially, the better off you're going to be mentally as well, because we don't make good decisions when we're stressed out and we feel like we don't have many options. And so obviously money helps with that. Money gives you options. So that's what I want for you, is more options in life. Like, I'm not giving up any options in my life if I don't have to. So, all right. Thank you guys for sharing. Any other comments? All right. Would anybody like to share any wins before we wrap up? Any wins? I will say, Cindy, you'll be proud of me. So, we finished up, you and I finished up the same day last week on our taxes, and I almost forgot. See, I'm getting a tax refund from federal, but not state. And so I owed state like $100, and I almost forgot to pay them. I went online. I'm like, please let me be able to pay online today. And and it said if you paid it by midnight, you'd be good. So I did get that in before I came tonight. So are you all done? You're all done, right?
Yep, I got mine. It's been received. I checked Monday. IRS has received it. So mine always come back fast. I don't know. There's some people who, they wait months and they still don't have it back. But
oh goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm expecting it probably by the end of the month. Yes.
Yay. I know.
And then I got to figure out.
Oh, go ahead.
I have to figure out now what to do with it when it comes, because we always get a refund. And like you said, we're giving the country, the government, a free loan, but I can do more with that refund when I get it than an extra $50 or $100 in my paycheck. It'll disappear.
Right.
Where this way I can say, okay, I have this much money. I can now pay for John's summer camp without a hassle, although I'd much rather someone else pay for it. There's something with the license. They're not licensed with the state, which is a bunch of malarkey, because I think, I don't know, they just haven't gotten it done and they're dragging their feet. So I don't know, and I may be helping Brody out. I don't know. He got a place. They signed Saturday, so he is no longer homeless.
Yes. Yay. That's exciting.
It really is. Except now his car is acting up.
Oh no.
He thinks he needs new brakes and a catalytic converter.
Oh,
so that's like maybe $1,400. So now we were talking over the weekend that in a couple months, like June, July, him and I were going to sit down, go through some of the stuff I've learned from you to apply it to his budget and get a plan. Now that he's got stable housing, get a plan. And then he tells me about the brakes today. So now we've got to probably do it a little sooner than that, because we wanted to wait until they had at least 1 month of bills in the new house.
Yeah.
So we know what they're splitting it 3 ways. So that's good. But they don't know how much electricity and everything else the 3 of them are going to actually use compared to a single guy that was living there before. So I think we're going to have to figure out now and really look at things and say, do we put $1,400 into the car or more, depending on what's wrong, or do we use that money as a down payment toward a used car or something else? So now we're going to be trying to figure that out, when he really doesn't want to try to deal with anything more right now. He wants to just breathe for a month.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't think he's going to. But he should get his money out of escrow about mid-May.
I was going to
So
ask about that, if that was
Yeah.
done or what had
not
happened
yet,
with all of that. Okay.
not yet. I believe I thought it was around the 26th, 28th of April, but they set it up on the 25th of January. He could put his first money in after January 27th, but he didn't put it until February 1st. So it goes from February 1st when he put money in. So that'll
Okay.
be May 2nd would be the 90 days. On the 3rd, if they haven't done what they're supposed to, which there's no sign they are, then they'll put in a requisition for a check that'll take probably about up to 10 business days. And then he'll have to go down to Detroit City Hall to pick up the check.
Mm,
So we're still looking at a month. I was
gotcha.
hoping we were closer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's got federal tax payments from 21 that he still needs to pay, as well as 22, and trying to keep current on 23.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all the stuff that and then student loans in October. So those are all the things that him and I are going to sit down. I said, let me know when you've got a few hours, because it's not going to be quick. We're on the phone for 2 hours, just talking about a lot of various things,
Mhm.
Moving his car insurance to the new house and the renter's insurance and comparing rates and everything. So, I told him, I said, just let me know and we'll sit down. I'll pull out some of my sheets and I'll pretend I'm Ashley. And then we'll make an appointment with Ashley for real.
Well, I'm here when you need me. Yeah. Getting all that foundational stuff does take
Yeah.
time. But the great thing is once you do it, maintaining it is certainly easier once you get, the habits and the routines and
Mhm.
all the stuff that we talk about. But yeah, it does take some time there.
Well, I was really proud of him when he first started working as a therapist, and before he was just starting to get on the payroll, and he had things mapped out of what he felt he could take insurance wise, and
Mhm.
knew that this insurance pays this much and this one pays this, and then you've got Medicaid, and then you've got a couple cash payers, all that kind of stuff. And then he had another column for all of his bills. I was really proud of how he put this onto a spreadsheet. And
Mhm.
he's been keeping up with that as a guide. But
That's
I think we need to
awesome.
go to the next step,
Yeah.
and to really be able to plan everything out.
Yeah, especially with the
and that.
taxes, because he's a 1099 contractor, right? So
Yep.
yeah, that takes good start though. Definitely a good start, but
Yes.
need to do a little bit of tweaking. So that
I
is good.
wish I'd done that when I was his age.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that's awesome that he's done all of that for sure. Angela says, I wish I would not have dragged my feet listening to podcasts before joining your Money Success Club. Well, I'm glad that you like the podcast. Melanie says, yay, glad he has a place. And I have completed my money
Thank you,
log.
Melanie.
I've completed my money log from 4/10 till today, except I need to do the math and highlight the items for the money categories. All right. Well, thank you for sharing, Cindy, as well. Let's see. Did you? Yes, you should. I was like, we were on wins, right? I was trying to remember if we were on wins. Yes, that he found a place. Christina, I set up the basic budget for May. Awesome. And got my meal plan complete through 4/28. Awesome. Yay. And I'm sure you guys saw that I kind of sent my rough meal plan. So what I've been doing lately in the email this week for the events for Money Success Club. So what I've been kind of doing here lately, instead of saying like each day what I'm going to eat or going to make, I make a list of like the meals that I have on hand and I can make. And that has helped me with like feeling overwhelmed with like, oh, well, this changed. Now I need to do this today. Oh, I don't feel like cooking that, like kind of gives me a little bit of flexibility in my plan, because sometimes I just don't want to make what I said I was going to make that day. So I like just having a list of meals that I have on hand. So I've done pretty good. so far. Like I think I said on Monday I was going to make beef stew, but things came up and that takes a lot longer. And I was like, I don't have time to make that today. I'll make it. So I made it today on Tuesday, which actually worked out way better. I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. So, it gives me a little bit of flexibility like that. So I say that so that you guys know that it's okay. Like you don't have to say, I'm going to eat this particular day, as long as you have like an idea of what you have to cook so that you're not having to sit and think, oh, what do I have? And do I need to go to the store? Oh, it's just easier to go through the drive-through. So that is what works for me right now. It's just, sometimes I have to sit down, make myself do the list too and see what I have. But it is easy. It is easier for me in the way my brain works. So
I went on the website for your friend Shannon, the Making Frugal Fun.
Yeah.
Because she's got all those meal plan things. So she has a new one out of dollar dinner meal plans.
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't
And,
I didn't buy it yet.
I did. I bought that one and then the freezer plan. Because freezer meals or freezer and food don't go with me together with me unless I buy them frozen already. I just don't have luck with that. So I thought, well, I'd give it a try and see what I can come up with. So I just got this yesterday. And I've got her other one for the year. So I'm hoping to sit down and I did it 1 week last month.
Yay. It's a start. I printed hers off, but I haven't like really even looked through it. I put it in a binder and everything. So
I put the original one in a binder, and then I just got these yesterday and got them printed after I got my printer unjammed.
Well, let me know if you like them or how they compare to the year. So we are talking about Shannon Carnes with Making Frugal Fun. She's got a new meal plan out. So that is that's who we're talking about.
Yeah. And do you still have her talk on our thing?
Yep. So, it's under stage 1 under meal planning. So there's actually a couple there.
So they can listen to her, because that was really a good interview and talk.
Yes, I liked hers. And then Rachel with This Crafty House or Home, I forget which one, she talks about freezer meals. So I really like what she does too. She does everything in like a 4-hour block. Like she just knocks it out and then she's done for like a month. She does like a month in 4 hours.
I don't think I could do that.
I don't either. Like I keep thinking about it. I keep thinking about it, considering it. And I follow her on Instagram and I'm like, man, it would be nice because I do like freezer meals, but yeah, I don't know. Sundays I just don't know if I want to like have a big block of time like that to do it all. But yeah, maybe one day I'll try it. Nikki says I'm following the budget more closely because I was having such a hard time keeping up with it. I actually got myself a binder, yay, and put all the sheets in the binder for April, and I added extra lined paper to keep track of groceries. Good idea. And subtract from each trip to the grocery store. That's a great idea. I have maize ready as well. That's awesome. Oh, yes. I was like, I know there was more comments here. Where did they go? Angela says, small accomplishment is I joined this meetup for the first time. Yay. And I have been trying to get more on track again. Angela, you are doing great. Give yourself some more credit. She went on vacation. I think you're having a hard time getting back from vacation mode, which is very normal. She had a great vacation, did great. So be proud of that. You didn't overspend or anything like that on vacation. So you were doing great. Melanie, I like Aaron Chase. Is that who you mentioned? Oh, I need to listen to the meal plan videos. So I don't know who Aaron Chase is. And I think you mentioned that before I said who we were talking about with Shannon. But Shannon also, she has a big following on TikTok. She does a lot of TikTok videos. She's actually having her 4th kid. She's pregnant with number 4. And they are knocking out a ton of student loan debt. So I'm not sure. I think the last time I had checked, she was under 100,000, but they were paying off like 300 some thousand in student loan debt.
Weren't they both doctors?
Yeah.
Both doctors. Yeah.
But I think all the debt was her medical can't spit it out, medical school student debt. And it was still like, I want to say it was over 300,000, but
Yeah.
so yeah, she's sweet. She does a lot of easy, quick meals too. Like when I see her videos, but like I said, I bought her meal plan, but I haven't like really sat down and I think I even bought I think last year she did a summer lunch one or something, and I bought that too. And I still haven't like really looked through it, but I better like I've got
Yeah,
it there.
and
I forget about it. I put it up with the recipes and then I forgot that I had it.
Yeah, she's got another one right now too for, was it kids breakfast and lunch? I think it was.
I think that's what I bought. Yeah, it was
And
like
that she's
kids
got out right
meals.
now. And I'm thinking, well, that would be great, except John won't even eat that. So
Well, yeah,
it's not gonna.
There's really not much planning with him. You know what he's gonna
No.
eat, and that's what you do.
Well,
Like
yeah.
as
Give
long
him
as he
choices
eats.
that I can. Yeah. Well, we went to Big Boy and he had grilled cheese tonight. So
Hey, that's
my
sometimes I have grilled
girlfriend's
cheese.
my
for dinner.
girlfriend's school was doing a fundraiser at Big Boy, so we went and supported the school.
That's awesome. I thought about you today. I actually thought it was something you had shared on Facebook, but then I realized it wasn't. And then I was going to tag you, and I don't know, got distracted, moved on, but it was about Tim Hortons. They were doing something new. And I was like, oh, did Cindy share this? I was like, oh, no, she didn't. And then it's like,
Does
Tim
Cindy know
Hortons.
about this? Probably not.
Yeah, I know. I don't
Depends.
remember why I didn't tag you because I thought about it and then I just scrolled again, I guess. I was like, why? I don't know why I didn't tag you because I was like, oh, Tim Hortons is doing something different. But it wasn't about the coffee, I don't think. I think it was about donuts or something. But
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
I try to be good with the donuts and just get breakfast sandwich and or my coffee.
Oh, I think it may have said something about Canada. So I think that may have been why I didn't tag you now that I think about it. But
That could be because they're a Canadian company.
oh, okay. So maybe they were changing something I just read the headline. I didn't even, open it because I don't have one here. But yeah, you talk about it all the time. So I was like, oh,
It's
that's
cheaper
funny.
than Starbucks, and I think it's better. So
Yeah. I don't like coffee at all, so I have no opinion. I really don't like coffee. All right. Does anybody else have anything you want to chime in? This was a great conversation tonight. Let's see. I am not meaning to send everybody I'm hitting buttons here on accident. All right.